Technology in business is vital. In the last decades, technology has provided a new and better approach on how to manage business, making the transactions faster, more efficient, and more convenient. For today's session, I'll show you how AC Mariosoft Accounting Point of Sale Edition system works. I will click first the files, then items. So as you can see, we have here the search box, View, New, Edit, Delete, and Barcodes. Click View. So as you can see, all items will appear. To input new item, just click New, and then item UI will appear. Item ID is generated. Next, we have item name. Feta 450 grams. Next, we have is the or unit measure. If you drop down this one, here are the list of my unit measure. To create new unit measure, just click list and then units UI will appear. So input your unit measure, click save, successfully save. So drop down this one and select the pack. Next we have is the category. If you drop down this one, here are the list of my category. To create new category, click list and then category UI will appear. Category is biscuit and then click save. Successfully save. So we have here the biscuit. Next we have is the cost, for example 80. Regular price is 95 and then special price is 85. Wholesale price is 83 and then available quantity is 10. Next we have is alert quantity, for example 5. If our fleet of 450 grams will reach to 5, our system will notify us to reorder the item. Click Save. Successfully save. So as you can see, item UI is clear and ready for another input. So automatically, the item you create will now appear here. If ever you have a customer that wants to buy the feta, let's proceed to sales and then sales transaction. So we have here the customer. If you drop down this one, here are the list of my customer. To input new customer, you can directly type here. For example, Marielle. Press enter. So we have here the customer UI. You can also input the information of your customer. And then contact number. You can also input the address, the PIN number, term and days, and you can also apply loyalty to your customer. And click save after you input the information and then OK. So automatically, the customer you create will now appear here. Load items or F1, so all items will appear. So select feta 450 grams and press tab for the quantity. For example, Marielle will buy 5 pack of feta. Press enter. We have here the subtotal of 475 and click save. Payment UI will appear. So input amount paid by the customer, 475. Then save. So here are receipt and press any key. So to check the stock of our feta 450 grams, let's proceed to inventory feature and then stocks. So as you can see, we have here the search box, view stocks, out of stocks, print, and item ledger. View stocks, so as you can see, we have here our list of our items. Red means zero quantity or out of stock. White means there are many availability of this item. Green means the alert quantity or reorder point. And then blue means highlighted. Select your feta 450 grams and then item ledger. This item ledger this is where you check the transactions under this item or history of every transactions on this specific item. Click item ledger and click view. So as you can see, we have here the transaction date, the receipt number, the transaction is sold to Marielle. So we stuck out of 5 and then the remaining is 5. We also have the beginning quantity and then the availability. So let's close this one. Now that we reach the alert quantity of our item, and we buy to our supplier and we will now receive it, we will click receiving and then receiving transaction. So the same, we have here the supplier. If you drop down this one, so here are the list of my supplier. To create new supplier, or if ever you have a new supplier, just input here, for example, Grace Grocery. Press enter. So we have here the contact person. You can also input your supplier as information. For example, Grace Malubay. And then you can also input the contact number, the address, and then the TIN number and the term dates. Save. So successfully saved. So if you drop down this one, so as you can see, we have here the Grace Grocery. Load items or F2. So all items will appear. If ever you receive from Grace Grocery Fita 450 grams, just select your item and then input quantity or press tab. For example, you receive 10 pack of Fita 450 grams. Press enter to have here the selected item UI. In here, you can also input the expiry date of your item. So in the lowest part, just select the expiry and then change the date. For example, our Fita 450 grams will expire this coming 2023 June 6 update. So we have here the subtotal of 800. Now press save and then save. Expected that we receive an item from supplier, so our stock of our Fita will now added. So let's proceed to inventory and then stocks. Click view stocks and then Fita. So click item ledger and then view. So as you can see, we have here the transaction from Grace Grocery. So we stock in of 10 and then we have here the available quantity of 15. So let's close this one. If you have a monthly expenses, you can input it in expense transaction. Click expense. So we have here the payee or where you will pay your expense. So for example, we will have, rent. Press enter and then click save. Well, here the expense. If you load expense, so here are my existing expenses. For example, if you want to input new expense, just select expense. For example, room rental, and then press enter. So we have here the category. If you drop down this one, so here are the list of my category. You can also input new category. Just click list, and then category. For example, rental. And then save. So select the rental and then the amount or how much you will pay for your rental. For example, 500 per day. And then save. So we have here the rental and input amount 500 and then enter. We have here the total of 500 under the room rental. And then save. Successfully save. Let's proceed to the cashiering feature, then cash drawer. So we have here the cash drawer UI. We have here the startup cash or your petty cash. So you can also input your petty cash. So for example, click edit and then input. For example, 500. Okay, so we have here the cash sale. So today we have cash sales of 1,475. So we have here cash expenses of 500. Withdrawals, you can also withdraw your money. Select withdraw and then amount. For example, you will withdraw 500. Then you can also input the reason. For example, fair. And then withdraw. So we have here the withdrawal. So we have here the cash purchases. Total cash in is 1,925. The total cash out is 500. And then the remaining is 927. Click cash count. So we have here the cash denomination, and this feature is we can differentiate our money from the system and our cash on hand. So I have here the 1,000 down to cents. For example, in my cash on hand, so I have here 1,500, 4,100, 120, and 1,500. So in here, we can determine if our cash drawer is the same in our physical cash. So after we cash denomination, click Save. Successfully save. Now let's proceed to important reports and then item profit. So we have here the date range, the category. If ever you want to check the profit of your biscuits, click biscuit and then go. So we have here the biscuit category profit from as of this day. So we have here item name, the quantity of 15, so we sold 15 pack, and then the price amount, the discount, the sale amount, the cost amount, and then the profit. So for our Vita 450 grams of 15, we have a profit of 225. You can also select other category. So as of now, we have here 0 because we don't have any transactions under this category, as well as the milk. Now, if ever you have a staff or cashier, so we will give them an account. So let's proceed to users and then user accounts. Click view. So here are the list of some accounts that is already logged in my account or in my system. To input or to create new account, just click new and then user account UI will appear. So username, for example, Joy. Password is 123. Duty shift is AM, and then access rights for Joy is, for example, staff, and then save. So now that we already have an account, so we will give Joy or our staff an access rights. So let's proceed to users and then access rights. So as you can see, we have here the 3 column. First column is the access rights, second column is the menu, and third column is the submenus. So staff, and then under staff, we have here the menu, add. So for example, Joy will have file and then sales, for example, and then add. So now we have here the files and sales. In the files, Joy will see the submenu of items and then add. Under sales, Joy will see add sales transaction, for example, and then add. So now that we already create and access rights to Joy, so we will log in Joy's account. We will check. So the same, we have here the user login UI, Joy. Password of Joy is 123. Click login. So the same, we have here the message. We must check the date and time to avoid discrepancies. Click OK. So as you can see, files and sales is the feature of Joy. Let's proceed again to our master admin account. The admin. Now let's proceed to config and then company info. So in here, you can input your business name. So for example, we have here the Mariosoft Solutions Store. For example, we will create a new company name. For example, Mariosoft Grocery. And then you can also input address. For example, Lapu City. And then the contact number. And then the email, contact person, proprietor, TIN, and operated by. And then click update. Okay. So as you can see, we have here the Mariosoft Solutions Store. So that will be changed into name of our business, Mariosoft Grocery. Okay. Now, let's proceed to backup on how to back up the system. Let's proceed to config and then backup. So browse backup destination. For example, we will put our datas in, for example, this PC, and then we will put it in new volume E, and then OK. So as of now, I will cancel it because it's just an example. So in just 4 clicks, all datas will be backed up. And yes, we're done. Thank you so much for listening. This is Pritzi saying, at Mariosoft, we empower every entrepreneur to achieve more.